covered with wet, slimy skin. Their long, wiggly bodies have no legs and no bones. Many people think they are gross. Yet earthworms are one of the most important animals in the world. Earthworms are found all over the world. They can live wherever the soil is not frozen or too dry. Short and long. There are about 4,900 kinds of earthworms. The smallest is about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters long. The largest is 12 feet, 3.6 meters long, about the same length as a big surfboard. African giant earthworm. The best known earthworm in the United States is about 6 inches, 15 centimeters long. Many people call this worm the night crawler because it stays underground during the day and comes out at night to eat. Night crawler. From end to end. An earthworm's body has a head end and a tail end. In between are lots of little rings called segments. Each segment has 4 pairs of tiny bristles. The bristles help the worm grab hold of soil as it moves through the earth. Earthworms have a thick band near their head end. The worms use mucus from this band to make cocoons that hold and protect their eggs until they hatch. Bristles. Cocoon. Segments. Tail end. Thick band. Head end. On the inside. Inside its body, an earthworm has a tiny brain, 5 pairs of hearts, and a long intestine. The brain controls the worm's movements and helps it sense the world around it. The hearts pump blood through the worm's body. The intestine helps the worm turn food into fuel that its body can use. Some kinds of earthworms have blood that is red, like human blood. The red blood gives these worms their reddish color. Intestine, hearts, throat, brain, mouth. Underground living. Many kinds of earthworms live in underground tunnels. To dig them, the worms push their long bodies through the soil. Some dig tunnels that run just an inch or 2.5 to 5 centimeters, below the ground. Others, such as the night crawler, dig tunnels that go deep down into the ground. A night crawler's tunnel can be 6 feet, 2 meters deep. By digging tunnels, earthworms help all kinds of plants to grow. How? They loosen the soil so that air and water can reach the roots. Worm food. Earthworms eat dead leaves and other pieces of rotting plants. They also eat soil, seeds, and small twigs. They have no teeth, so they suck the food into their mouths. Inside their intestines, the parts that they cannot use are turned into waste called castings. The castings pass out of an opening at the end of the worm's tail. Earthworm's mouth. Leaf. Some of the food in a worm's intestine breaks down into tiny bits that can help plants grow. These bits make up part of a worm's castings. When a worm leaves its castings behind, the tiny bits go into the ground and make soil rich and healthy. Castings. Worms for dinner. An earthworm's meaty body makes a good meal for many different animals. Robins and other birds pull worms from their tunnels when they come out to eat. Shrews, moles, and other furry animals that live in tunnels hunt them underground. Toads, frogs, snakes, and skunks like to eat earthworms too. Frog. Moles catch earthworms and store them in their underground homes. Then, during the winter, when food is hard to find, the moles eat the worms. Mole. Getting a grip. An earthworm can't do much to defend itself from enemies that live underground. It can try to save itself from a hungry bird, however. Usually, the bird grabs the worm by the head end as the worm pokes out of the ground. Using its body and its bristles, the worm grips the sides of its tunnel and holds on tight. Sometimes it wins the struggle and is able to slip back into the earth. A bird often bites off part of a worm while pulling on it. If the bitten off part is from the head end, the worm usually dies. If the bitten off part is from the tail end, it often grows back and the worm survives. Good for the earth. Hundreds of earthworms can live below a small yard or garden. That idea may seem gross, but in fact it's good news. Earthworms are important food for birds and other animals. They help plants by bringing air, water, and rich matter into the soil. Earthworms don't just live in the earth. They are good for the earth. Some people raise worms and sell their castings to farmers, gardeners, and stores that sell gardening supplies. The people who buy the castings mix them into the soil to help plants grow. A world of invertebrates. An animal that has a skeleton with a backbone inside its body is a vertebrate. Mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians are all vertebrates. An animal that does not have a skeleton with a backbone inside its body is an invertebrate. More than 95% of all kinds of animals on Earth are invertebrates. Some invertebrates, such as insects and spiders, have hard skeletons, called exoskeletons, on the outside of their bodies. Other invertebrates, such as worms and jellyfish, have soft, squishy bodies with no exoskeletons to protect them. Here are 4